Welcome, dear Thriver, to Thriver TV, the narcissistic abuse recovery channel where you will learn how to heal for real from narcissistic abuse. Okay, so today I want to talk about the nightmares you have about narcissists, literally as in the bad dreams, what it's about, why they happen, and how to stop them. But before I do, I just want to say thank you for supporting the Thriver mission and also to subscribe to my channel to catch my live sessions, be able to do Q&A with me and get notified about my upcoming videos. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, and also remember to like and share if this video speaks to you and if it could help somebody that you care about. Okay, so let's get going on today's show. The nightmares regarding a narcissist are horrific. And I promise you, it's really common to have nightmares after narcissistic abuse. In my own experience, it was really akin to Nightmare on Elm Street for months and months and months. I used to fall asleep. I'd be in the most shocking nightmares. I would wake up totally traumatized. I'd fall asleep and I'd go back into even the same nightmares. And there were things like driving my car off a cliff and I'd be in midair about to crash. I'd be in burning buildings. I'd be in these chaotic experiences. I'd be running around with him chasing me or him standing over me and mocking me and spitting on me and just horrible, horrible things. And back in the day, there were lots of things that I did try to do. There were things like baths where I would have things like lavender oil in them. And I used to do like aura cleansing things and black tourmaline. I used to wear that to try and ward off psychic attacks and psychic connection. And they're great. Like, there are really a lot of things that you can do to help, and I write about them a lot in the NARP program in self-care, things that can really help your nightmares and help you have a good sleep. And I just really want you to know those things are supplements and they're helpful, but the really deep, powerful solutions where you don't need to manage the nightmares anymore because they're actually gone is exactly what I'm going to tell you about in a few short minutes. But before I do, I want to ask you, have you had horrible experiences with nightmares? Because I know many of you have. So let me know in the comments below and let me know how long this has been going on for. And what did you do to try to stop this happening to you? Okay, so for those of you that are going through this and still really suffering from it, my heart goes out to you, because narcissistic abuse and the after effects of it are extremely difficult to try to manage and get past and recover from, let alone when you can't even escape it in your sleep. All right, so now before I tell you exactly how you can treat this and remove the nightmares for good, I want to explain to you what they are really about, because this piece is so important. There are many mysteries regarding the dream state, but suffice to say, it is about your subconscious. So what's this about? It's about maybe the things and the messages that we're not getting in the awakened state are coming when we're in a dream state, when we're in delta brainwave, when we're actually open and more connected to the subconscious, which is what happens through theta and through delta brain state, because in beta brain state, often we're quite disconnected from it. So trauma, which is a very powerful part of our subconscious programming. There's a lot of emotional energy on it. It really affects our beingness. It affects how we feel, what we think, what we're choosing, what we're participating with. And if we have trauma programs with a lot of emotional content on them, often they will show themselves in our dream state. It's when we are more open and receptive to what's going on in our inner being, in our inner identity, in our inner programming. So what is the sole purpose of trauma showing itself and arising within? This is what I believe. And this is really what the Thriver principle to heal from narcissistic abuse is built around. What I believe is that our trauma is often very unconscious. In other words, we think it's our inner identity and it's who we're being and how we're feeling and what we're doing and how we're presenting and what we're connecting to in life. But often we're not aware of it. And we're not aware that the patterns and the programs and the people in our life and the situations that we're in that can be intensely painful and traumatic are actually a match to our inner trauma programs and our beliefs, which a lot of them have been there for a long, long time, often precognitive. We might have brought them in from past lifetimes. We've picked them up in our family genetic DNA that got passed on to us. Science is now showing us that we do inherit trauma programs. Our childhood, our unhealed, unmet stuff, and of course the program can continue, and it does, on into our adulthood. We find ourselves in very similar situations and things that we've always battled and struggled with in our interpersonal relationships. Now, what I believe happens is when we have the outer experiences of people that are hurting us, it's matching our inner, often unconscious programs. And when we're asleep, where that filter between the unconscious and the conscious gets so much thinner and so much more accessible when we're in a delta brainwave state, which really is, our subconscious fully can roam through us and our mind. We're experiencing our trauma, and that's what's coming up in our nightmares. And it is traumatizing because you wake up and you feel traumatized because you've had a nightmare. But what is this about? This is about something in our subconscious trying to get our attention so that the unconscious can become conscious, so that we can actually turn inwards and attend to it. So what can you do about this? I want you to understand this about narcissistic abuse, and in fact all dis-ease, which is not just physical. I believe that dis-ease is occurrences in our life that are painful, limited, or traumatizing. And these less than experiences all relate to an unhealed trauma program within that is trapped inside us that is actually generating these experiences. Because this is quantum law. So within, so without, that the unconscious within us then will actually translate into a conscious experience, and from a soul level healing opportunity. When we become consciously awake to that, we can turn inwards and actually heal that subconscious part. And once we get a change on the inside, the outside, who we are, how we show up, what we choose, what we participate in, and how we start generating our real life experience must shift to match the inner shift. So for myself, going back to originally how I was trying to manage the trauma of continual nightmares virtually every night and several times a night, with the oils and playing, classical music or meditation music, or I even did Thai cutting techniques, aura cleansing oils, all sorts of things, crystals, anything I could get my hands on, which would help at times. However, the trauma was still there and the nightmares were still there. how I released the trauma within my subconscious was with quantum healing tools. And specifically when I discovered and generated and created quantum freedom healing, I was able to turn within, target the trauma in my body, generating the nightmares, pick it up, load it up, release it, and bring source in to replace it, which reset me to not having an inner being consumed with those traumas anymore. They were gone. And then what happened was the nightmares just melted away. And likewise, one of my clients, her name is Diane, she was dreaming over and over in her nightmares. It was about being in a house that was falling down all around her, and she was running from room to room to room trying to escape the narcissist. And I love the belief that, you know, houses and our structures in dreams can represent self, and hers was crumbling and burning, and it was just a shocking mess. And of course, you know, back in being a personal development, and she was in her dreams and stuff, she was trying to decipher the dreams, and she was writing about it and trying to work it out that way to try to stop it, just like any conscientious student of, you know, dream study and personal development. Yet I told her that there was another way. So I instructed her to use NARP and to go to module 1 and to target the trauma in her body that was generating that nightmare, and it lit up, and she went to it and she loaded it up and she released it and brought in source, and she had to redo module 1 3 or 4 times to get it to a completely benign, there's nothing left there anymore. And she never had that dream again. And it had been reoccurring 3 or 4 times a week for a long time. I've given the same information to so many people over the years. I can't tell you how many times, because it worked for me and it works for others. So those of you who are on NARP, just use module 1 and you'll get free of your nightmares, because we all need our sleep. But this is not just about being freed from the nightmares. There are so many far-reaching results from this as well. So I want you to know that when you let that stuff go, not only are you going to be able to sleep, you've also found traumas such as, it's not safe to be in my body, it's not safe to be in life, I've got agoraphobia out there because of the trauma of what could happen to me, or whatever it is that's limiting you in your real life in order to recover, move on, and start to thrive. So that will come online for you as well. It's not just about being able to get to sleep. So how would it feel to be able to heal and be up-leveled onto the evolutionary path that your subconscious is asking you to look at so that you can shift and ascend to that? I want you to feel into that. What would it be like to be without these nightmares and to get a powerful leap forward in your Thriver recovery? I want you to feel into this and let me know in the comments below. Okay, so if you are ready to powerfully heal from the inside out, then I highly recommend checking out NARP, because it's the most powerful and effective way I know of how to do that, how to get rid of your nightmares, as well as the real life nightmare of this. And I promise you, I had tried everything until I was able to work on myself with NARP. So you're going to see the link that appears on your screen, or have a look in the show notes to find out more. Okay, so I really hope today has helped give you the hope that the nightmares literally can and will end. So until next time, keep smiling, keep healing, and keep thriving, because there is nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.